हेलो फ्रेंड्स, केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको अलेक्जेंडर पॉप के शॉर्ट आंसर के बारे में बताएंगे। क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट, डिस्कस पॉप एज ए ग्रेट पोएट। आंसर, अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉर्ड बायरन, अलेक्जेंडर पॉप इज द ग्रेट मोरल पोएट ऑफ ऑल टाइम्स, ऑफ ऑल क्लाइम्स, ऑफ ऑल फीलिंग्स एंड ऑफ ऑल स्टेजेस ऑफ एग्जिस्टेंस। His poetry is the book of life without content and yet without neglecting negligence. He has assembled all that a good and great man gathers together, of moral wisdom clothed in consummate beauty. Dr. Johnson says the highest were within Pop's reach and he reached them. Johnson further says, if Pop be not a poet, where is poetry to be found? Pop's style and diction are typically pseudo-classical like other new classicist. He too paid more attention to form than no content. He was a poetic reformer. He practiced refinement and correctness in poetry and wanted to make poetry urbanized. He maintained the balance between wit and judgment. Correctness is a distinguished characteristic of Pop's style and diction. His poetry is selection of beautiful words, balanced epigram and striking antithesis. Hazlitt says he perfected the artificial to the natural in external aspects. As a poet, Pop's contribution to English literature was so great that it will remain shining ever. Question second, discuss Pop as a social chronicler. Answer, Pop is truly a representative poet of his age. He is its social chronicler. He represents his age in the same manner in his poetry as Chaucer and Tennyson represents in their poetry. In Pop's hands, individuals become types and his creative power in this respect is superb. In the words of Lowell, as truly as Shakespeare is the poet of man as God made him, dealing with great passion and innate motives, so truly is Pop the poet of society in delineator of manners, exposure of those motives which may be called acquired, whose spring is in habits and institutions of purely world organ. Commenting on the rape of the lock, Lowell says it was a mirror in a drawing room, but it gave back a faithful image of society, powered and rugged. Really, the rape of the lock does mirror the men and women belonging to aristocratic families. Their craze for fashion, sophistication, ludicrous code of mortality, their vanity, meanness, treachery, jealousies, superfluities, and unending interest in flirtation and sexual intrigues. All this shows that Pop was the master of social chronology. Question third, discuss Pop's style and diction. Answer, Pop's style and diction are typically pseudo-classical. He pays more attention to form than to content. He was a poetic reformer. He practiced refinement and correctness in poetry. He maintained a balance between wit and judgment. Without wit, the poem is dull and lifeless, and without judgment, there will be extravagance and absurdity. Circumlocution, personification, and abstraction are the silent features of Pop's diction. He uses Latinism too. He would use firmly praise in place of his Earth of China in place of cup, velvet plan in space of table, two-edged weapon in place of scissors, etc. The following personification is remarkable and Aravis breathes from yonder box. The rape of the lock is the most exquisite specimen of filigree work ever invented. It is made of gauze and silver spangles. The most glittering appearance is given to everything to paste, pomatum, billet down and patch air, linguide, airs, breathe, ground or atmosphere is performed with affection. This way we find the style and diction of Pope very wonderful and praiseworthy. Next question is write a note on Pope's versification. Answer. Pope achieved a remarkable flexibility in his heroic couplet. He overcame the limitation of the heroic couplet as the complete and closed couplet by making a sense of one couplet overflow into the next and so on. The result is that the couplets are linked with each other through meaning and sense. Of the poetic form, Pope was master. He perfected an English meter, the heroic couplet, which for the purposes of didactic and satirical poetry has since remained the chosen vehicle of expression in our language. To his command over this meter he had attained rapidly though not at once. His earlier poems are not free from false rhymes and display that free introduction of an Alexandrine line which Cowley had first among English poets permitted himself, but which Pope afterwards abandoned. Whether Pope could have attained to equal mastery over other meters seems an ideal question, for none could have equally suited the peculiarity of his genius. In versification, Pope was, as he often said, a pupil of Dryden, but he far surpassed his master. Next question is discuss a picture of contemporary womanhood. The underlying picture of woman presented in the poem is a genuine one. It is a copy of real womanhood of the age. The poem presents women as beings who are all frivolous and whose genuine interest in love making. The poem tells us that fashionable ladies like Belinda used to get up very late in the day. Their maid waited in an ant chamber. The ladies were awakened from their dream of love in an atmosphere of perfume. They went to bathroom and engaged themselves in the task of fashionable dressing and powdering the face. Jewels, cosmetics, powder, rose opens, scents and pens lay in the magnificent array on the toilet table along with small nicely bound copies of Bible. Ladies of the time wanted to make themselves as attractive as possible and frivolity in every action was the watchword of their lives. They always remained in the contemporary of their admirers, the popes and gallants of the day. They loved their lap dogs as much as their husband. Flattery was too high and too low for them. They would greedily swallow the highest and gratefully accept the lowest. Pope describes every feature of the then ladies very clearly and honestly. Question. Write a note on picture of young gallants during the time of popes. Answer. The young gallants of the time have been pictured as buicks or dandies. Chivalry was dead among them as a shown when the baron rudely cuts a lock of hair from Belinda's head. The youth of the day were very much fashionable about their dresses. They were fopps. They drove in coaches with women, dances and drank with them. They thought themselves most unfortunately if they did not or could not have half a dozen beloved at a time. Love making was the essence of their life. The pursuit of women was their chief object. They used to take pleasure in petty affairs. They visited ladies, accompanied them to the theatres, and ogled at them. Their minds are hollow, their spirits unclean. A fashionable coquette was their goddess. Love their altar, and their virtues were French romances and love. Letters of the past beloved. This way Pope described all about then society very frankly. What he saw, he wrote. Lowell says it was a mirror in a drawing room, but it gave back a faithful image of society. Question next है, discuss the rape of the lock as a piece of satire. Answer: the rape of the lock is a witty satire against the fopps and bellies, fashionable dandies and ladies of Pop's age. It is also a satire on the society of the day, but the section chosen by the poet is the aristocratic section of society. The poem is the most powerful satire against feminine frivolity. Pop's hair depict in an satirical style of moral degradation of the fashionable society of his age. His aim is to improve the manners and morals of the contemporary society. The poem shows how the fashionable young men wasted their time in pursuing fashionable ladies and in playing card games and ball dance with them. It also shows how the ladies were much more interested in decorating and painting themselves. They had no sincere love. They were flirt. They treated their lovers and even husbands just like lapdogs. They had no morals. They were flirts and coquettes. In the poem, social satire, wit and mock heroic elements have been blended artistically. Next question, discuss the supernatural machinery in the poem The Rape of the Lock. Answer: the supernatural machinery of the poem has been designed on the Rosicrucian doctrine as formulated by Lecomte in Germany in the 17th century. According to this theory, four elements, fire, water, earth and air, were inhabited by four kinds of spirits: salamanders, nymphs, gnomes and sylphs. We meet all these in Rape of the Lock. The machines, which are supernatural beings, are diminutive. They have insect wings and they can change their shape and sex. They can see the future. They can inspire the heart of the mortals. They are airy and unsubstantial and remain invisible to the human eyes. They play an important role in the poem. They hang about Belinda's earrings and watch her petticoat. It is Pop's attitude towards sylphs that allow him to develop his whole attitude towards Belinda. His supernatural beings can be compared to Homer's god and help in giving the poem an epical structure. Pop uses the machinery very cleverly. The poem has become the single success because of this machinery, says George Holden. Next question, discuss the moral of the poem The Rape of the Lock. Answer: Dance has said that Rape of the Lock has no moral lesson. The poem is light comedy. It is a parody of the serious epic style, but this was the Christianism, the Pop's first version of the poem. In the second version, which appeared 2 years later than the first, Pop corrected his mistake. He provided with a clear moral by exaggerating the vanities and superficialities of the upper class people. He is trying to teach that they should give up all those artificial attitudes. He attacks moral vices such as coquetry and flattering and artificiality and extraordinary makeup and use of cosmetics in the ladies. He says, how when are all those glories all our pains, unless good sense preserve what beauty gains? No, so unless good sense is acquired, no beautiful woman would be able to retain her beauty for long. Mere physical beauty is not enough. It should be followed by spiritual and moral beauty too. A woman beautiful will become really beautiful if she acquires good sense. This shows that there is a good teaching in the poem and it must have a moral weight in the society. Question 10. Discuss limitations of the poem The Rape of the Lock. Answer. The poem suffers from some serious fault. It is always away from the world of nature, though it is near human nature. Even in the depiction of human nature, pop is artificial. There is an extraordinary streak of artificiality. The supernatural machinery is neither purely Christian nor purely Greek. Description of supernatural machinery and of the card game are rather too detailed or somewhat overdone. According to Ghost, its faults are a certain hardness and want of sympathy. The life described here is not the life of the nation, but of a little group of idlers in the town from the upper classes of society. The poem can also be criticized for its sexy imagery. So Miss M. Tan says, Tanny says, it is a piece of harsh, scornful, indelicate buffoonery. Dr. Johnson says, to the praises which have been accumulated on The Rape of the Lock by readers of every class, from the critic to the writing mad, it is difficult to make any addition. Johnson further says of that which is universally allowed to be the most attractive of all ludicrous composition, let it rather be inquired from what sources the power of pleasing it is derived. Objective type question. Alexander Pope was born a sickly and fragile baby on answer May 21st, 1688. Question. Pope was born in family of Roman Catholic linen draper in answer Lombard Street, London. Question. Pope published his first volume of poems, the title of which was answer Pastorals. Question. The first version of The Rape of the Lock in 2 cantos was published in answer 1712. Question. The enlarged version of The Rape of the Lock in 5 cantos was published in answer 1714. Question. Pope's first seriously conceited work in verse entitled Essay on Christian was published in 1711. Answer. Question. To which age does Pope belong? Answer. Neoclassical age. Question. If Pope be not poet, where it is poetry to be found? Who commented? Dr. Johnson. Answer. Question. Pope died due to answer dropsy and asthma. Question. Poet died in answer 1744. Thanks. Best of luck.